It's not looking good. At one point in time, this was such a full pot. I recently got one of these in my little old TV transformation. This is not that. This one is much older. I've had it for a long time and I've neglected it for a long time. But I wanted to show you how we can make this look better. This is Maranta Lemon Lime. And where I think I went wrong is there's too much perlite in this mix. This I potted up a couple years ago, and I think it's too quick draining soil for how little I water. So there's nothing wrong with quick draining soil for Marantas, but if you're not going to water more often to kind of balance that out, this is what will happen. They like a little bit more water than not, and I think on the tags when you buy these, sometimes it'll say low light. And personally, I feel like low light, they will survive. Like I would call this surviving, but will they thrive? Maybe. If you give them more light than not, they will do really well. More light, more water, they'll do really well. So I think that's where I'm going to pivot to what I was doing before. It was getting a lot of light, a little bit of water. Put it in a small pot, give it the same amount of light and more water. More water. I think the biggest thing, people are like, oh, I'm so good at killing plants. I can't keep anything alive. Light and water. Light and water are really the only two things you have to give it. Light and water. If you give something more light, you'll have to probably give it a little bit more water than you're used to. You can't just like buy it and then like a month later be like, why did it die? Either you didn't give it enough water or you didn't give it enough light or water. Once you get the basics down, light and water, you can kind of add in fertilizer. Like once you figure out your light situation, then you can kind of start working on how much water each plant wants. Like this plant needs more water than not. There's other plants that prefer less water. It's very confusing if you don't know the plant's exact needs, because I say light and water, but like not too much water and not a little bit of water. It's like a balance. And I think in time with trial and error is where you find that balance for yourself in your environment, what is going on in your house or wherever you're growing at. Like what I do here is not going to be the same as what you do in your house. I have a rainforest. It's a bit more humid. I can go a little bit longer without watering. I can look at a plant and know like, oh, you need water. So by looking at plants, what plants I can skip this round of watering and maybe hit in a few days after I know it's actually dry. It's just a lot of trial and error. I can help you as best as I can. The tips I give you, you can kind of put it in action where you are. Because if you're in a really dry place, you're probably going to have to water more. If you're somewhere where it's very humid, lucky you. Your plants are probably doing so good, and I'm jealous. But you probably have to water less. You don't need a humidifier. Like, we all live in different environments, and you can't take somebody's advice that lives in Florida if you're living in Arizona. Like, those are two different environments. I live in Ohio, so like it's humid right now, but actually I'd say it's kind of humid. But in the wintertime it's not humid. I'm running my heater, so like it's a balance. I can only help you the best I can. And I'm trying. Let's get into it. So as of right now, this pot is way too big for what I have in here. It looks like there's plenty of roots in here. Meh. Not really. Okay, it's not bad. This is all the life I have in here. And that's okay. That's okay. These little bits that were in the big pot made it look very scraggly, unhealthy. But when I cut all these brown leaves off, put it into a smaller pot, it's going to look a lot more full. So like, it's going to look better. It's not going to be a huge plant, but like, it'll grow. Like, eventually it'll be a big plant. So I think this is about a 4-inch pot. It's too big for it, but like I'm gonna use that in my favor, because since the pot is a little bit too big, the soil will stay moist a little bit longer than not. So that will keep moisture within the roots. So I think for this plant specifically, keeping it wet a little bit longer will get me to the next watering, so it won't dry out as much. And that's kind of my problem with keeping these, is that they dry out too much. I'm gonna cut these 2 leaves off because they're ugly. Bye. And this one. Bye. So does that make sense? Typically, you don't want the pot too big because the soil stays moist for too long. That leads to root rot. These like a little bit more moist soil. So I do want to keep it moist a little bit longer so that it doesn't dry out too much. So I'm not watering more often. I still want to water less often as possible. So this is kind of my cheat to get to the next watering. I hope that makes sense. You are being really loud over there. What's him doing? Go get that toy. Go get that toy. Go get it. Give me that toy. He never gives it to me to play. I'm gonna water it in really well. But like, it looks so much better now. Yes, it's not a huge plant, but like from what it looked like before to now, it's already, give it a couple weeks and it will start putting out, it already has like new leaves coming anyway. And I think overall it'll just be a lot happier. I think this was a win on a repot. Not too shabby.